get tasting khana at home actually. But just a quick show of hands, how many still dial as opposed to go online? 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and how many use the internet or? So almost equal, I would say.
Yeah, kind of.
And the others are like me, they don't order at all.
That's not possible, I would say.
You're like,
order. The pizza to order kiya hi hoga kabhi.
Pizza, there is no option, right? You have to order. I mean, you can't make it at home.
That's what I'm saying. So you've ordered pizza for sure online. Or not online or phone pe.
Unless you marry an Italian woman, which doesn't happen very often. Yeah. So now let's talk about, okay, you've taken the plunge, you've done your coding at Gold Ad Labs, and now you started your, so-called venture. So tell us about the first year, because I know there are a lot of things that happened in that 1 year when you started. You almost went, I think, bankrupt after 6 months, and then revived yourself. And so let's spend some time on the first year, which is very important in the journey of any entrepreneur.
I think the first 2 years, if looking back now, were the most tough ones. Back then it was the most exciting one because we were fully in it. But I think the first 2 years, everything that we thought would happen, it happened. Everything, literally everything. Because when we started off, I had this, if day we start, we're going to get orders coming in, people are going to go on the website and start ordering. Nothing happened. There were no orders happening on the website, and we didn't have any savings as such. Whatever our PF money, we had withdrawn that, and salary savings just worked for 2 years, nothing much there. So first 1 year, first 6 months rather, which I break it up there also, we started with online ordering. We were just getting like 1 order a day or something. And we were so down that time that we had a phone line there for support, and we used to sit in front of the phone and tell kabhi phone baj jaye. And we didn't know we could forward it to our mobile, and so we had like manning people. So my co-founder used to sit for like 6-8 hours, and I used to be out, and then I come back and take the phone. That's what we used to do, but there was nothing happening. Literally, there was no order. Like one order was like a celebration. They coming, "Aaj ek order aa gaya, kisne tasty khana dekh liya." And that invariably happened to be a friend, someone who's like, "Isko zabarasti kar diya, try kar le tasty khana." So that's how it used to come up initially. So first 6 months, then nothing happened. Money is running out of your account, and then I started doing all odd jobs in terms of I used to scan menus for restaurants, anything which got us money. So कोई restaurant बोलता था कि आप delivery चालू कर दो. We didn't do delivery immediately, but they used to say we want table reservations to come in. So I said, okay, go back to tech. Let's start building table reservations. So that table reservation came. Then we used to take party bookings. So I think we tried everything. We had no clue what we were doing first year. If I go back, I'm like we were really trying everything possible just to survive in the market. And 6 months we ran out of money. So 6 months we were out of funds, and if I'm right now, maybe 2 or 3 weeks away from shutting down. And I still have those mail threads with my co-founder saying that Sheldon, जो भी पैसा गया चला गया, अभी आगे देखते क्या करना है, जॉब वापस मिलेगा, try करते हैं. So that's the exchange we had back then, and that's when my first investment happened out of the blue. So I ran out a lot of investments also. So first year, I think one of the things which we're discussing outside right now also. We were doing business for all the wrong reasons probably. Funding was a big thing that if you're funded, you're successful is still a myth in a lot of people. That I was doing business probably back then for glamour, saying that "Arey, funding aa jayega, I'll be like this in probably a TiE session, or people will start talking about me," and all these things are in your head that if you're not funded, you're not successful. And there was no concept, much focus on in terms of, okay, let's try and focus on building something and put lesser effort in raising money. There was a significant time going in doing all these activities, which obviously was not adding up to building business better. Obviously working like 18-14 hours, but I think in hindsight, better knowledge, we could have put much more effort in building the business better and being more focused. But these are learnings which we have. So yeah, 6 months ke baad pehla check aaya, which was first funding.
That was an angel investment.
Yeah, so that was also interesting. So back then there was Orkut, which was popular among people. So I used to go to events to talk and do prachar about tasty khana. There was no other way to market. We didn't have money to do marketing. So there's a community called Pune Eat Outs. I don't know whether anyone knows that, Orkut. So yeah, so I went there, and I think it's now moved to Facebook probably. And I asked them whether I can advertise, and the guy who runs it was like super strict and said, "Nee, we are not a commercial stuff, and we want to do it like this and stuff like that." So I spoke about tasty khana there, and one of the guys from Capgemini met me, and he said, he called me a day later, and he said, "I want to invest in a company." That was like a joke because we tried everyone, and kuch nahi tha, paisa kuch nahi tha, company was hardly making $1,000 probably a month or something like that. And I said, I ignored kuch hone nahi wala, and he called me again. And second day we met at CCD in camp, and he wrote a 1 lakh check saying that, and he wrote tastykhana.com, and that's when he formed a company also to encash the check. So it was a shocker actually. So because it was our own savings account which we were running, and he wrote tastykhana.com 1 lakh rupees, and it was a huge amount for us that time. Because credit card bills were typical story in terms of credit card bills overrunning, phone line spending to pay and stuff like that. And we were super tense कि पैसे कहाँ से आएंगे जो भरने थे वो भी नहीं थे. So this guy gave 1 lakh, and interestingly the check bounced. And this guy went to Australia. He was placed there. So बोला चलो ये भी चोर निकला कुछ नहीं हुआ ऐसे बोल के कुछ मिला नहीं करके. But it happened to be some signature error and finally he wrote from there and we did get that 1 lakh rupees and gave us breathing space for probably 6 more months. But again, actually, it was more of burning. What was burning? We're trying to put water over it. We didn't have a clue what we were doing. It just gave us more runway to kind of figure our stuff out. And that 6 months actually helped us. In terms of after 6 months, we changed our business model completely. We got mentor, one of our charter members, Chetan Shah. So he was my boss in Synergy, and he kind of said that why don't you look at delivery as one of the options. And restaurants were also saying that in terms of we want logistics as the solution and not just giving us the order. So we thought let's go into delivery, and in October 2008 we kind of pivoted our model and we acquired a company called Food on Wheels. It was an own-based model, own-based company, small guys. So acquired, when I say again, कुछ पैसा नहीं था. So we said equity देंगे, private limited भी नहीं था हमारे पास, but we said equity दे देंगे. That's usually what entrepreneurs have, right? So we said we'll give equity to you guys. So there were 5 guys, I said 1% to each. So that's how we kind of got together, and they came on board, and then kind of business completely changed after that.
So are they still around?
One guy is still around, and he's very happy being. So he exited at a very good multiple. So, and these guys came for so I'm very happy for them personally, because what I see it as my staff, which I say are their livelihood kind of runs on us, right? So this guy came from a very poor background. He was a delivery boy. Food on Wheels was a very small company. There were 4 guys who were taking calls and delivering themselves. So this guy who was still around with us he's a 4th standard fail. And he was a janitor at the hospitals, and his father was not there, and he's done jobs like sweeping, delivering flowers and stuff like that, and a very hard worker. And for him, they were making profits in that company, and coming to us and selling their company as such was a very painful and a tough decision that time to make. And he came on board and he put that trust on me, which is a big bonus, because you yourself don't have any clue. And then you're taking on board someone saying, promising a future कि कुछ होगा आगे करके, with your equity, which is no money again. And coming from his background, he doesn't understand equity. He just trusted me, and luckily he could exit 2-3 years ago with a very good multiple. So he has a car and he has a house today, and he's really well settled. So that's personally success for me in terms of being able to exit people who put money in me when I was nothing, zero. So that's a good story.
I think I do recall you mentioned when we met the first time that the Cap Gemini person who gave you 1 lakh actually went home with what, 18 lakhs? Is that
20 lakhs.
Why did he invest in you?
So initially I think friends and fools were all who were backing. So I asked him later this question, that he just met me once. So his question was, I like what you said. That's a very vague answer actually, I would say, if you think right now, right? Even you would probably like, but you won't put money on me right now. And he's not an investor or something. He was a typical project manager in a company. So I think I was lucky that I met a person who wanted to take this risk money, and 1 lakh was a small amount for him probably back then. So he took a risk. I personally believe it's the person you see when you have zero money. What do you see? There is no plan or business. It's just you're selling something. So probably usko topi nahi pehna bolunga because I gave him an exit. So but I could sell well that time. So probably that's what worked for me.
Yes. You took away my question, boss. So we'll actually ask questions at the end, if that's okay. Otherwise, I'll come and sit there and we can have an interaction. That's also okay. So I just have a few things to cover, and then we'll open it up. Alright, and there are no coupons for asking the right question. So let's go to the next stage, right? So you got your first, angel investment, and then you use that money, and things started picking up, and I think then few things
more angels came on board,
yeah. Right? And then something else happened at that point, right? Which then took you to the next level of your business.
Yeah.
So let's talk.
So delivery business actually got cash in the office, so we could see money coming in, and that was the biggest motivator. For 1 year, we had one developer. It was me and Sheldon. We're just sitting and building software. You are like coding side बना रहे हो, ये feature add करो. But जब तक पैसा नहीं आता, it's not exciting. You don't see some traction happening. There's no excitement in the company, and there's no driver like money. And when we started delivery, these guys are already running a business. So there was, because of cash float coming, you would take money from customers and pay them back at end of the month. So 20,000 rupees cash, I still remember I was sitting like a Sage and counting that in office, and that was like the biggest satisfaction. कि पैसा finally आ रहा है company में. So after 1 year, this money started coming, and then we said, okay, how do we get automation in place? How do we scale this business up? And we did that pretty decently. So we completely pivoted from what we were doing. We shut every other line of business. We were doing table reservation. I think we carried table reservation for a little longer, but our focus now was only on delivery. So we said, okay, let's scale this up. We can do a lot of automation here. What these guys are doing in terms of picking up phones and stuff, we can put it online, save cost. And we multiplied that quite a bit. So there were 4 guys delivery. I was also delivering initially. We used to do that ourselves. So from 4 delivery guys, including me, we multiplied it to around 70 guys by 2011. So we scaled it up quite a bit. We were doing for McDonald's.